Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're digging into an audiobook that's clearly made a big impression, Between Sisters, by Kristin Hanna.
Right.
We've got the Amazon page here, the Audible edition specifically, and it's just packed with customer reviews and details.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to unpack why. What makes this particular story hit home for so many listeners?
Exactly. I mean, you look at the numbers up front, over 37,000 ratings.
And that average, 4.5 stars. That's not just people liking it, that suggests something, deeper is going on, a real connection.
It really does. It's definitely an intriguing hook. Let's find out what's behind it.
Okay, so where do we start? The story itself.
Yeah, let's outline the basics. It's about two sisters, Megan and Claire. They've been estranged apparently for 25 years.
Wow, 25 years, that's a long time.
It is, and it stems from some terrible choice Megan made way back when. Now, fast forward, Megan's a divorce attorney.
Maybe a bit guarded because of her job or her past.
Could be. And her sister Claire, she's about to get married.
Okay, so a wedding is bringing them back together.
Exactly. Them and their mother, who the description hints might be a bit judgmental. It's all set for a summer in the Pacific Northwest.
Sounds like prime territory for confronting the past, right? All those unspoken things.
Definitely. The description itself highlights that, talks about the, intricate bonds of family, love, loss.
Betrayal, forgiveness, all the big emotional hitters.
Right. And it mentions the healing power of new beginnings. There's this phrase that it touches the deepest, most tender corners of our heart.
That really sets a high bar for emotional impact. And judging by the ratings, it seems to be meeting it for a lot of people.
Yeah, that 4.5 average we mentioned, and 65% of those ratings are the full 5 stars.
65%. That's huge. It really does tell you something about the overall reception. People aren't just okay with it. They love it.
So let's look at what they loved. The comments mention specific things. Story quality pops up a lot.
Uh-huh. How many mentions was that?
847. People calling it great, wonderful, moving. One person specifically said captivating storytelling.
So it's not just the plot points, but how it's told that's grabbing people. The craft of the narrative.
Seems like it. And tied to that, nearly 500 mentions, 480 use words like heartwarming.
Ah, so it hits those emotional notes, emotionally engaging, touching, relatable too, I bet.
Exactly. Focusing on those themes we saw, love, family, forgiveness. What is it about estranged sisters, do you think, that pulls people in so strongly?
Well, I think family dynamics, especially broken ones, are just incredibly relatable, even if the specifics are different from your own life. There's often this underlying hope for reconciliation.
Yeah, desire to see things mend.
Exactly. And seeing that possibility play out, even with all the pain involved, that can be very powerful, very heartwarming, like the reviewer said.
Makes sense. And it sounds like Kristin Hanna's writing itself is a big part of that. 206 mentions for writing quality.
Oh, interesting. What kind of words do they use there?
Terrific, well-written, skillful. Some people even said it was easy to read and that they could really picture the situations.
That's key for audiobooks, isn't it? If the writing helps you visualize, it makes the listening experience much more immersive.
Definitely. And you need good characters for that immersion, too. 201 reviews praised the character development.
Right. People feeling like the characters are real, fully wrought, as one person put it. They like how each story was introduced and then sort of woven together.
Which leads right into the family relationships aspect. 154 mentions there.
Uh-huh. Not just the love, but the messy parts, too.
Yeah, exactly. They talked about the love, but also the dysfunctional sides, the impact of a difficult childhood. Sounds like it doesn't shy away from the complexity.
Which often makes it feel more real, more authentic, even if it's difficult.
And surprisingly, maybe given the heavy themes, 109 people mentioned humor.
Oh, really? Humor. That's interesting.
Yeah, said it made them laugh and cry. They liked the dialogue, called it real, mentioned quips.
That balance is hard to strike. Injecting humor without undermining the emotion suggests, a skillful touch, makes the characters feel more rounded, too.
It does, and it seems the story moves well. 48 comments on pacing.
Good pacing is crucial, especially for a longer listen. What did they say? Engaging.
Engaging, yeah. Palpable.
Yeah.
That it pulls you in from the first page, makes it hard to put down, or pause, I guess.
This is high praise for an audiobook. That's how long is it?
It's pretty substantial, 11 hours and 40 minutes.
Okay, so holding attention for that long is definitely a win.
Definitely. But it wasn't all perfect praise. We should talk about the mixed reactions, too.
Right. Important to get the full picture. What were the criticisms?
Well, 134 mentions had mixed feelings about the storyline itself.
Oh, the plots.
Yeah, some found it real, true to life, which sounds positive, but others called it predictable
Predictable. Okay.
and formulaic. One reviewer specifically compared it to a Lifetime movie.
Ooh, okay. The lifetime comparison. That can be, well, a bit loaded. Sometimes it means comforting and familiar. Other times maybe simplistic or overly sentimental.
Exactly. Seems like a real split. Does predictable automatically mean bad, though? Or could that be part of the appeal for some listeners? Finding comfort in a story structure they recognize.
That's a great question. I think it really depends on the listener's expectations. If you want constant surprises, predictable is a negative. But if you want an emotional journey within a somewhat familiar framework, maybe predictability is actually comforting.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily negate the emotional impact if the characters and the writing are strong, which other comments suggest they are.
Precisely. It highlights that difference in taste. What one person finds cliché, another finds classic and satisfying.
So for anyone listening who's now thinking about checking this out, let's cover some practicals. The narrator is Laurel Merlington.
Okay. And the length again?
11 hours and 40 minutes. It's unabridged, published by Brilliance Audio.
Good to know. And it's on Audible, obviously. Are there, like, membership perks or anything?
Yeah, the usual Audible options. You can get it with a credit if you're a member. Sometimes there are free trials, or you can just buy it outright. And by the way, if you are interested, the link to the audiobook is right there in the description.
Handy. Good to mention. Does it have that whisper sync thing?
It does. Whisper Sync for voice is enabled, so you can switch back and forth between the Kindle ebook and the audiobook if you have both.
Oh, that's always a nice feature for flexibility. People
Yeah.
seem to really like that.
Yeah, it's convenient. And one more interesting detail, it's rankings.
Ah, the bestsellers rank. Where does it sit?
It's hashtag 363 overall in Audible books and originals, which is pretty good, but then it gets more specific, hashtag 7 in fiction sagas.
Okay, strong in its category.
Yeah, and hashtag 16 in family saga fiction,
Mhm.
hashtag 24 in contemporary women fiction.
So it's really hitting its target audience within those specific genres. That tells you a lot about who's connecting with it.
Absolutely. So wrapping up the core findings. For you listening, if you're someone who enjoys those deep dives into family drama, stories about healing and forgiveness,
And you appreciate strong characters and writing that pulls you in.
then Between Sisters, based on this listener feedback, seems like a really compelling choice. Despite some finding the plot familiar, the overwhelming vibe is positive, especially about the emotional journey.
Right. It delivers that heartwarming, engaging experience that so many listeners highlighted.
And remember, you can find the direct link to the audiobook on Audible right in our description if you want to explore it yourself.
Yeah, definitely seems worth considering if those themes resonate with you. It's clearly struck a chord.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. Those mixed reactions on the storyline, predictable versus realistic. Could that say something about our own experiences? About what we look for in stories about family? Do we want the comfort of the familiar path or the jolt of the unexpected?
It's an interesting question. What kind of story feels real to you? Probably depends a lot on your own life, right?
Exactly. Something to think about. What kind of story are you looking for right now? Again, if Between Sisters sounds like it might be it, the link's in the description.